welcome back guys to a brand new video, and today we are here for my first ever league race, if you will, on the F1 2017 game. Now this was actually an AOR social around Monaco at night. You know, it's sort of a good way to test the online play and, you know, see if there are any, you know, prominent bugs that are, you know, reoccurring overall in the game. And, you know, it was also nice to just have an online race for, you know, the first time on this game. It's always enjoyable going on to a new game ready for some online action. You know, league racing is something I find very, very enjoyable. So, you know, expect, if you're new around here, a lot more highlights from sort of league racing videos and things as we move on further down the line, guys. And, you know, hopefully we can get more and more action on the channel, you know, from F1 career and league racing. And unfortunately, you know, there was one bug that was made very clear to just about everyone. You can't launch a custom online session. So I had to set up a online championship, you know, just a one race championship. And that, you know, actually started to work out well for us. And as we move on then into qualifying, and I'm getting a little bit caught up behind my teammate Overrated Llama here, but this was another little confusing thing, because he got dashboarded for the second time there, so that actually isn't him driving, that's his AI just going around pretending he's him, and it was all over the place for every different driver, so we were never quite sure what he was doing there. But as we come through to end lap one, and, you know, I sort of just wanted to try and get some good laps under my belt during this qualifying session, you know, show that I've got a bit of consistency to myself. You know, this is sort of what this race was about, just proving to myself, you know, that I can, you know, be quite consistent on this game over the course of a few laps. And as we come through onto my final lap of the session, right actually at the end of qualifying, you know, I was sort of just trying to get laps under my belt. Yeah, I was running 2 laps on each set, 2 qualifying laps on each set of Ultra Softs. You know, with short qualifying, where you've only got 12 minutes worth, you know, that doesn't actually give you that much time, you know, to go out for run after run after run, which personally I quite like, to be honest. I like the fact, you know, it is quite a rush, but I know a lot of people aren't such a fan. You know, they prefer the 18-minute qualifying sessions that we saw back on F1 at 2016. But this, as I said, was my fastest qualifying run, and I, you know, just watching Monaco laps is one of those things, you know, where when I'm doing the lap, you know, it doesn't feel particularly brilliant. You know, you're sort of just watching for the barriers, but when you watch it back, you really sort of see, like, the raw speed of it, if you will. Like, it's not just my laps, it's sort of anyone, you know, you watch really. As we come through down towards the back, you know, getting as close to the inside wall, as close to the outside wall as you possibly dare here. And, you know, that's sort of just the story around the whole Monaco circuit. There are a couple of curbs you can still really attack on F1 2017 there, and I mean attack, I mean you can put all 4 wheels over, so I might have to watch for that during league races. But coming through the final corner and down towards the line, it is going to be a 1:11.1, I think, at the end of that lap there. Whatever it was, it put me in a pole position there, so, you know, quite happy with that, you know, showing that I've got good pace in the early stages of this game. And it was a 1:11.206 there, so a lot more time to find on that run. You know, I really feel that a 1:10, you know, sort of a 10.8 could be possible. But let's move on then, guys, into the Monaco Grand Prix. So on the grid then, ready and just waiting for the last couple of cars to line up on the grid, and then we should be ready to go for a 50% race around this Monaco circuit. And one thing they have actually edited out on this game is the little cutaway screen there. But on the grid then, 5 lights for the Monaco Grand Prix, and it's lights out. And away we go, and off to a pretty decent start there, you know, against other people. You know, able to have a lot more of an equal start relative than I can to the AI. And at turn 1, I do come out there unscathed, you know, nice and clean, and still in the lead of this Grand Prix. But, you know, these first few laps are just going to be critical of, you know, just trying to keep yourself out of trouble as we come through turn 3 there. You know, just trying to keep yourself out of trouble, you know, keep all 4 wheels on the wagon. So I'll be interested to see how long it does take and how many drivers do actually retire in the early stages of this Grand Prix. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see as we skip through the next few laps. But lap 1 so far, you know, just trying to keep it nice and clean here. You know, race fuel is actually very different to qualifying fuel on this game. The back end does tend to skid out a lot more under race conditions there in the early stages. So, you know, we have to be wary of that during the first few laps of this Grand Prix. But I'm feeling quite confident at the moment. You know, if I can keep it at the walls for, you know, the first sort of 10 laps, I feel, you know, that I should probably be able to take it to the very end. And I've already got just over a 1-second gap to Hayden behind me here. And, you know, coming through the final couple of corners there, locking up the front side just a little bit into Raskas there. And we've already got our first retirement of the day. Overrated Llama, unfortunately, falls to the wayside there on the sort of halfway through to back there. Unfortunately, I'm pretty certain he would have turned in just a bit too early there. And unfortunately, you know, small mistakes like that around a track like Monaco are very, very costly. As we skip on a little bit further on lap 2, and there's our second retirement of the day. ESR remains there. Actually quite surprising that he's gone out very, very early. You know, one of the ESR boys in for league races. You will know about ESR now, and you know, it's quite surprising for Amaze there. You know, thought he'd be able to survive a lot longer in this race. But on to lap 3 now. Our next retirement is Briggsy23 there, falling to the wayside there. Down to 9 runners we go in this Grand Prix. 3 retirements in the first 3 laps there. And you know, for some of these guys, it was quite nice the fact they didn't have to suffer the torture of Monaco much more. But you know, I was going to try and go for as long as I possibly could. As we can see now, skipping on to lap 6, that's where Briggsy binned it through the swimming pool chicane there. Hayden is now out of the Grand Prix as well there. He was actually in P2 before he retired, as I dived it at the inside of Jack Hopwood there, just lapping him as he dives it into the pit lane there. Not been a particularly clean start for him. Had a couple of issues with other drivers in the early stages of this Grand Prix there, but down to 8 runners in this race we go, and you know, hopefully we won't see many more drop to the wayside here. But now on to lap 7, and we're actually right behind IIV Lights here, Kyle, as he's more commonly known. You know, hopefully I can try and dispatch of him nice and soon in this race here as we break it down in towards the, is this Portier chicane? I think it is there. He makes a bit of a mistake there, loses the back end slightly and decides, you know, he'll let me through just then there. You know, he's a little bit reluctant to let me through up to that point, so it was good that I was able to make it past him nice and quickly there as we're on to, you know, the end of lap 7 of this race. You know, not particularly far in, but I'm already starting to get a bit of a rhythm on during this race. And as now as we skip on to lap 8 here, and unfortunately we're going to see another retirement there. Jack Hopwood, who I just lapped a couple of laps back, unfortunately they're pulling off to the wayside. Not really too sure what happened to him. I think he had a bit of front wing damage there, so a little bit gutting for him. But you know, set 8 laps made in this Monaco Grand Prix there, you know, doesn't really bode well for consistency for a lot of these guys. As now Ivy Lights Kyle is out of the session as well, just a couple of laps later here, and you know, pretty certain he binned it down at the Portier chicane, so a little bit unlucky for him there. And now we're down to just 6 runners in this Grand Prix, so we've lost half the field in the first 10 laps of this race. And now as we move on to lap 11 now, are we going to see another retirement anytime soon? You know, it's Monaco, it's most likely going to happen, and yes we do. Jamie183 in the barriers there, out of the session he goes. And now we are just left with myself, King, Chip, Jamo, Mini Dude, and I think Sabo had unfortunately disconnected by this point, so we really only had 4 drivers left in this race. And as we move on to lap 14 now, we're down to 4. King Chip unfortunately has retired there, and that actually puts me off slightly down at turn 1 there, making a little bit of a mistake there, getting a tiny bit of front wing damage there. But this leaves us just with 4 drivers left in this Grand Prix, 3 technically, because Sabo is an AI car, as unfortunately he did disconnect there and was unable to reconnect to the lobby there. But after that little bit of front wing damage, you know, sort of wasn't really too worried about my position in this race. You know, sort of more worried about just trying to keep out the barriers, you know, try and keep 4 wheels on the car so I can do as many laps as possible. So we opt to go onto a fresh set of the super soft tyres there, but I forgot to get the AI to change my front wing there, so a little bit unfortunate there. So I'm going to come back into the pits just 1 lap later and go for another compound change. They're going to move onto another set of the ultra soft tyres there, but actually change my front wing at this time there. As you can see, coming through the final few corners, I think that was Mini Dude there. And now, you know, we're actually trying to practice my pit exit things as well, as I make a little bit of a mistake on that one there. But you know, we're still in the lead of this Monaco Grand Prix. And now as we skip on to lap 20, we're sort of just trying to get some good, nice, quick laps down on the fresh set of tyres there, as we go purple on a 1 minute 20, a 1 minute 12, sorry, 0.5, and then we go ever so slightly quicker on a 1 minute 20, 1 minute 12.5 once more, if I'm not mistaken there. But we make a huge slide out of turn 1 there, and we do hold on to that just about with a little bit of front wing damage there. Quite surprised, you know, I didn't get a lot more from that. And now on to lap 26, the one big mistake I made during this Grand Prix there. Just got the back wheels caught on the exit of, actually no, I think that is Portier, isn't it? On there, I'm not too sure. Is that the Nouvelle chicane there that I've been going on about a little bit earlier on during this Grand Prix there, guys? But that was the one sort of big mistake I made during this race there. Obviously going to have to pit onto a new set of tyres and a new front wing there for the last third of this Grand Prix there. We're still holding on to the race lead, actually, which I was quite surprised by. based on, you know, that we'd already made 3 pit stops in this race, albeit we probably could have only done 1. You know, if we hadn't made that mistake as well, you know, we probably would have been fine there. Exiting the pit lane once more here and now. Moving on to the final lap of the Grand Prix. The yellow flags dotted around everywhere. Codemasters really need to fix that. There's a little bit of a bug with that, you know, the yellow flags sort of just don't really go away. You know, even once the car's been moved, you know, the track's sort of littered sometimes with yellow flags and other times, you know, it's absolutely fine. But yeah, we've survived all the way to lap 39 of this Grand Prix. We've gone further than we ever were able to in the AOR Monaco, you know, Season 12 and Season 13. As Season 13, I was unfortunately, you know, we had a bit of a contact on lap 37, and in Season 12 I disconnected from a 20-second lead on the final lap of the Grand Prix there. That was absolute heartbreak. But just lapping Sabo one final time there, I think that was the 3rd time I lapped him in this Grand Prix. You know, now just coming through the final couple of corners, you know, you take it with a touch of conservatism, as you know, you don't really want to rip the wheel off in the final lap of the Grand Prix. You know, you got a few people watching, just making sure. And now as we come through Raskas one final time, all we've now got to tackle is Anthony Nogues there, and through the final corner, they're getting quite close to the wall still for the final lap of the Grand Prix. But we are going to come through to win the Monaco Grand Prix there. But by common request in the party, I'm actually going to try and turn around and, you know, finish in reverse in this race. They're actually lucky I didn't rip the rear wheel off through that little reversing bit there. But I come through finally to win the Monaco Grand Prix there. Very, very happy with that. And then we've just got an AI that I barely missed there as he runs into the pit wall there. But I come through, you know, getting a nice little podium celebration there. Probably the only time in a long while you will see a McLaren at the top of the podium. You know, hopefully that's the aim in career mode, but it's very, very unlikely to happen for quite a while as of now, guys. But I think it was Jamo that came P2 in that race, and Sabo's AI actually managed to beat Mini Dude there. But I came through to win the race there with 6 seconds worth of time penalties, so not actually too bad. Able to lap Jamo, twice lap Sabo, who was the AI, and then 3 times ahead of Mini Dude there, as we had King, Chip, Jamie, IIV Lights, Jack, Hayden, Briggsy, Amazed, and Overrated Llama all failed to make it to the finish line there, guys. But hopefully, you know, you have enjoyed this bit of a different video. You know, I'm hoping, you know, to try and get a lot more AOR highlights out. You know, the first race on F1 27, a first proper online race there, and, you know, very, very happy with how it did all fare in the end there. But yeah, as I said, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You know, I'm so close now to 2,000 subscribers, so hopefully, you know, you can get me just one step closer to that. But I will see you guys next time for a brand new video.